Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of The Green Factor, a show where we talk about green design and the business of sustainability. I'm your host, Haris the Green Carpenter, and today we'll be talking about mental health and its relation to sustainability. Um, I'm sure within our networks of friends and family, we've heard about a lot of people suffering mental health. Even few people close to me have been into it, and so I feel like there's a need to talk about it. And just to recap, sustainability is not really just about saving the environment; it's about being good in the long run. So this also includes things like mental and physical health, efficiency, culture preservation, and a lot of different aspects for us to move in a more sustainable way. So today we have Ms. Ru Yi. She's an activist and also going to be a social enterprise and an advocate for mental health. So welcome, Ru Yi.
Good afternoon, Harry, and good afternoon, everyone.
So I think before we go into the topic, I think it's the viewers and me want to know more, a little bit more about you and what you do. So can you enlighten us?
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Ru Yi, and I am currently advocating for mental health and also sustainability right now. And I'm working on to be a social entrepreneur to look into the issues of mental health for sustainability, as Harry mentioned about the importance of looking on the other aspect for mental health. For sustainability. So my journey for like how I am here at this stage right now is really I've been through mental health issues um, before, and then I come to the realization that um, I need to care for my mental health. So I was really passionate about changing the world. I believe that a lot of young people right now they have this dream about I want to change the world. I want to do something for the world to make the world better. So I was really that kind of like passionate youth before. So I participated in expeditions, in volunteering, in entrepreneurship competitions, and different kind of activities to really to find a solution. And then throughout the journey, I didn't really know about I need to care about my mental health. So when I started to work, um, I started to work, and then I found that I was in this state of stress, and I didn't know how to manage my mental health or care my mental, and then I end up to experience depression. While at the same time, the worst thing at the same time is really was really about my climate anxiety grew bigger and bigger, and I couldn't manage it all. So I broke down, basically mentally like break down. I decided to take a break, really to review and also kind of like heal myself, um, to rewind myself. So I went to Perhentian Island. It's kind of like an escape, but then it's very useful. So I went to Perhentian Island and volunteered with the Turtle Project over there, and I was healed by nature. And through the healing, I realized that what I really care and what my dream is really to protect this beautiful environment, this beautiful nature that we have. That's the greatest asset that we have. And and then I found that I need to do something on myself first before I act for the environment or act for things that I'm passionate about, because that's the fundamental where we have the capacity um, to to take action. So um, I really kind of like at a point of time, I start to care more about my mental, and then find ways to live with my depression, because I found that sometimes there's no solution, or maybe we just need to live with it. How do we deal with it? So um, I live with it, and then I think I'm very fortunate that I met a group of people, and many people who are very open about their depression, their anxiety, their bipolar when I was studying in London. And then they inspired me to share more, to talk more, and then we help each other, support each other. And then it just kind of like a law of the attraction, and attract more and more people who are willing to share. And then from there, I found more and more solution for myself. And I think this is something that all these experiences that I experienced and those insights might be helpful for other people, for especially for the young people and also for the change makers, because we are experiencing the similar things. So that's where at yeah, I'm here now. That's my journey.
Thank you very much for the summary. I think my next question is like, what are some of the current issues on mental health?
Okay, so the current issue for mental health, I think probably most of us know what are the common issues of mental health, especially in Malaysia. Really about, firstly, I think it's about education and awareness. We are not educated in school about mental health. What is depression? What is stress? I think the easiest thing, or the very fundamental thing, is about stress. We are not taught at school how do we handle stress. So I think this is kind of like a gap in the mental health sector, where we don't have enough education, and then students have to seek external support or help outside from school. So this is like, I think, one of the very obvious kind of like issues in the mental health sector or the mental health. Secondly, I think these issues is kind of like complicated, but it's important as well to for us to face it. It's about ignorance. We are we Even though we in Malaysia we have so many people advocate about mental health, and also a lot of organizations, they are really bring out awareness about mental health. But then I found that a lot of people in our society still ignoring the importance of mental health, and they think that it's not important, and they are not prioritizing it. Maybe they prioritize about, I need to achieve something, I need to be successful, I need to earn enough money for a better living. But then that's not sustainable at all. So I think ignorance is a very, very big issue. We need to really discuss about it. And then the lastly is solution. um, I do think that we need to be creative in creating solution for mental health, um, not only in Malaysia but worldwide, because we have been looking into the psychochemical or biochemical chemistry aspects of mental health. For example, if you go to hospital, if that you are diagnosed as depression, the doctor will give you antidepressant pills. But actually, a lot of research have shown that it's not working at all, the antidepressant. A lot of time it's really about the lost connection, um, because we as human, we are social, we are born to be social creatures. So I think we need to look into the social gaps in the mental health sector, instead of looking into the psychology or the biochemistry aspects. So is there any aspects that we can really look into to solve these issues, solve these problems? I think this is really important.
And I think right now we are seeing a lot of issue with getting support, meaning like the actual we don't have much psychiatrists. We There's a lot of demand for this kind of service, but the availability is very difficult. One, and then also it's quite expensive if you want to seek for help in this kind of situation. So a lot of people choose to just live with it and manage it themselves and not get help. So I think like there's a lot more that we can do in this space, and we need to always continue the conversation and find new solutions.
Yeah.
And right now we want to go into the next question, which is I always believe that mental health is part of sustainability. So what are your thoughts on this?
Mm, yep. Mental health is definitely part of the sustainability because based on my own experience, if we do not care about our mental health first or ourselves first, we could never ever help for in sustainability or any things that we want to do in our life. So we really need to achieve inner sustainability first before we go into corporate or environmental sustainability. That's my thought about it. We we I think we're very familiar with the three triple bottom lines or the three pillars framework of sustainability. Um, what we have to look into, or what I found it, is really these models or this framework is lacking of the aspects of firstly mental health. But if we conclude into a concept, it would be social ecology or economy, because it's it's very hard for us to separate social, economic, and people. Sorry, economic, environment. Yeah, social, environment, and people. It's very, very hard for us to separate them, especially nowadays. Climate change is making everything just interrelatable and more complex. So I think when we look into sustainability, we need to look into the intersection between social, economic, or between social and environment, or environment and economic. So mental health is definitely a part of it, where only when we know like achieve inner sustainability, and then we only can do more and look into these problems or the intersections with more open-minded mind and open heart mind. So I think it's definitely something that we cannot exclude from sustainability. Mm, yep.
Thank you very much. So yeah, I agree with you. If we don't have a good enough mental health, it's very difficult for us to do a lot of different things as well, especially like for example running a business, running a social enterprise, or like leading a community. And if we don't have we are not calm, or there's a lot of things that is happening in our head, we can't really lead as much. So that's why I think the health of our mental needs to be prioritized as well. um, uh, a bit earlier you've talked about climate anxiety. So I think this is relatively a new term, right? So for the benefit of the viewers and listeners, what is eco anxiety?
Okay. So in general, eco anxiety, it's this mix of uh, I mix of in like the general definition and also my own definition is really about a mix of uncontrollable negative feelings that overwhelm us when we see the news on environmental damage or climate change, or any social, actually includes the social causes or social issues that caused by environmental issues and or climate change. Mm, it's I'll say it's actually part of the mental issues. It's also very, very critical and mental issues, and it's growing worldwide. A lot of young people who I talk to, they do have these eco anxieties. The main feelings they have is guiltiness, fear, and also helplessness. So we don't know how to help when we see climate change is happening, and then people are suffering from climate change, and we feel that it's like hopeless. So that's in conclusion what eco anxiety is about. While um, I think what we need to look into is, and what I am looking into is really to turn this eco anxiety to a motivation. So from a negative feeling to a positive motivation. So it's important for us to look into it and then to find out a solution for it. Yeah. So that's the what is eco anxiety for me, and also this what my perspective about it.
Yeah, so I think like right now we are seeing a rise of interest in sustainability. So the eco anxiety comes with that as well, because we care a lot about the environment and what how our activities affect the environment. That sometimes it becomes overwhelming, and I think we need to explore more on how we can manage or how this new thing is going to affect our future. And then the next question is like a lot of us know sometimes we don't even know that we have a mental problem, right? A lot of us go undiagnosed and just live our life however we want. But there's a lot of mental health issues that we don't really engage, and it's going to have a lot of effect in years down the road. So of course different people have different way to manage, and it all depends on the individual. But generally, how can we manage our mental health, or in your experience what works?
Okay. This is this is a very good question. It's also a very hard question to answer. But from my experience and also my observation, self awareness is very important for us to manage our mental health, because um, only with awareness we will understand and accept our what happening on our mental health, and then we will only then take action to do something to manage our mental health. So um, how do we I found that not many people, or like a lot of people, don't really have self-awareness. um, and how can we cultivate this self-awareness is really to ask ourselves questions. So by checking in ourselves every day, where they're asking yourself, how are you doing today? How are you feeling now? Or what make you happy today, or what made you angry today? It just you can write it down, or you can just do a reflection in your mind. It works. And this is something that we have to practice every day, to be honest. It's not something that build out in just an hour or like a few minutes, because I myself also built out this awareness for so many years since young. um, so, doing reflection, where reflection include your awareness, your observation about yourself every day, it will help us to build this awareness, where we actually can spot some symptoms quickly. For example, if you are stressed, you actually can feel it on your body. It's really obvious, because actually our body is this medium of our mind and our feelings and our emotions. So, for example, if you feel stressed or you feel really burdened, you can feel the stiffness on your shoulder, or you feel anxiety, or you feel fear, and you can feel that your stomach is not like working well, or like there's something, you feel just unwell on your in your stomach. So that's the relationship there. So I think um, cultivate this awareness inside us is important, and then be brave to seek help um, is important as well. We need to seek help to the if it's available, your closest people, for example, your family members or your friends, they can give you support. Why not to look into just ask for support? It's not like shameful to ask for support because you are facing stress or you're having depression. It's really important to treat ourselves earlier instead of like making things worse and worse. If you have a treatment earlier, that would be better. So this are just like two tips. So the first is awareness, self-awareness, and secondly is to be brave to seek help and support.
Thank you, Rui. So I think to summarize, it's self-awareness. By having conversation with ourselves, we ask the right questions and let your body tells you what's wrong. And after that, we need to start seeking help. And I think it sounds simple, but actually doing it and working on it is something that is of a journey, right? So it takes
Yes.
a long time. You won't be. It's not really a 1 week time or 1 month time. It's a continuous conversation you have with yourself, and I think that is a good analogy. And we let our personality or our inner self that helps us in this journey, because there's very little the outside help can help if you don't really help yourself first. So I think that that's a good summary. And but because we are seeing a lot of new cases coming in, and there's a lot of the older generation or employers that don't understand these kind of things. They are saying like, at my time, uh, not a lot of people have mental health, or like why suddenly this new generation all have mental problem, all have they are snowflakes. There's a lot of things that is bothering them. So how what are your thoughts on that?
uh, this is really relevant to me, and then I'm experiencing it now as well. Talking to the older generations, like for example, the closest example for me is really my parents. They don't really understand because they don't study, they didn't study, or they don't have the awareness to really to research about it. I think we are really fortunate living in this internet era where we can access information easily. But we have to be careful with what we got on the internet. So mm, it's a very very critical question on how can we like educate them. So I won't say that we have to educate or like use educate them as a solution. I'll say that the only way is really to influence them by our own action, where we can share our knowledge on mental health. We can share our experience on mental health openly to them, and I believe that the change in ourselves actually can influence or affect the others emotionally because we have shared emotions. We don't have shared experience, but we have shared emotions. So our experience and our sharing definitely can influence them emotionally, and only by then they'll be triggered to do something. So um, that well, I think that's the only way. Because there's no way that we can change other people. So um, it's hard, but it takes time. So we need to be patient about it. While looking into the questions on the screen, how can employer assist their talents in managing their mental health? Um, I think again we have to cultivate self-compassion first. So care about our own mental health first. The manager, like the CEO or the boss, they have to care about their own mental health first. Um, Only by then have this self-compassion in them, and they will have the capacity to assist their talents. If not, they just don't have the capacity to help the others, and even though they want to help, it will be like just not that effective at all. Uh, Only by compassion they'll be more effective. So after like looking into like own mental health, and you understand and you know that you have that compassion to help, so start to listen to the talents. I think listening is something that we have to practice, and it's really lacking in our society, where um, I do hear a lot that a lot of employees, they are not listened by their employers or by their managers. They just feel unheard, and they feel like helpless or hopeless in what they are doing. So practice like compassionate listening. It's just really really important to assist your coordinate or your talents or your colleagues on managing their mental health, because lots of the time people who suffering from mental health, they just need a pair of ears to listen to them, and that's all. You don't need to do that much, just be there, be present with them. So I say I think that's a very, very powerful kind skill and tips to manage, to assist people on their mental health.
So it's about first aware and take care of the mental health of the employers first, right? Or the
Yeah.
managers first. So because they know, when they know, then they can empathize. And then when
Yes.
they empathize, they also know that each person behave differently and have different coping mechanism. And like what you say, listening will help, and actually understand or hear what they are saying. And I think that that is right now is some of the things that we need to improve the communication, not just about work, but more about personal, mental, and physical health as well. So thank you very much on that insight, Ray. What right now? What are you working on? Tell me a little bit about what is in the plan, or what are you doing right now?
Okay, cool. So currently with the Ripple Effect project that I just founded, it's actually a project that aims to provide help to young people and change makers to build emotional and mental resilience, mindfulness and compassion to act for sustainability. So it's really relevant to what we discussed just now about how is it important to cultivate our own self-compassion, so that we can do more, we can act more for what we passionate about. So currently, I'm at the stage of researching and also looking into what need, and also some insights from the young people on how I can help them and in what solution I can use to help them. Um, Also, I'm aiming to really to work on to build a platform that the young people can have access to um, tools and also like resources that could help them on their um, on their mental health, and also um, on their journey to achieving their goals uh, more effectively and also more affordable. So, for example, one of the solution is one of the idea that I'm currently working on is nature-based solution, where I'm looking into how nature actually can help us, and also people. So first thing is nature, and secondly is people. So these two elements. So um, basically um, I'm looking for a solution that could make a platform that is affordable and accessible to the young people, to the change makers, to help themselves in their journey of like self-compassion, to take care of their mental health. So this is what I'm currently working on. And currently, I'm doing a research and also a survey to look into the mental health state of young people and also their relationship with environment, um, on climate change, on eco anxiety. So you can visit the Instagram ID that I created for the project itself, and also connect me on LinkedIn to know more about what I'm doing, or to really to connect with me to talk more about the topics that we are discussing today. Welcome everyone to put input all your insights and also your opinion, especially young people and change makers, because it's important for us to come together to combat, to fight for our mental health, not fight, but then find a solution. How can we live with a better, more sustainable um, mental state, and to create a more sustainable world or planet that we look forward.
Awesome, awesome. I think that's a good way to end the show. And for everyone that are watching or listening, if you find this content is relevant and might help your friends or family, do share with them. And also do be part of the conversation. Right now, we have Green Design Malaysia, a Facebook community where we talk about issues related to sustainability, business, and design in Malaysia. And be part of the conversation, be part of solution, because we want to develop more local knowledge about sustainability, especially here in Malaysia, and have this kind of conversation. So with that, I would like to end the show. Thank you, Ru Yi, for coming in and sharing your story. And for everyone else, thank you very much for viewing. See you next week and have a green week ahead. Bye bye, guys.